The tree styler is back in 2024. Would you believe this tree, yes, the one you're currently looking at, started from this. Yes, same tree, this is it. Let's go. Cedrus deodora. On the bench today is a Cedar deodora, Cedrus, in a 300mm pot. Let me look at that for size. I think it's a 300. Anyway, been growing this tree for a number of years. I will check the files. Let's have a zoom out. Trying to fit all the tree into my viewing space for you. All right, looking at the tree, it's grown quite a lot. It's got these nice, fine green needles, needle-like leaves. Let's have a look. Spin around slowly. Going around. Exciting stuff, isn't it? Can't really see a lot. Keep on going. And stop, because it's hitting the wall at the back. Righto, let's have a closer look at this trunk. The base starts here, working its way up, and then it disappears. I'm going to have a closer look. Let me bring it back around, looking underneath at the branching. There's a little bit of wire there that I've got to remove. You can see there. And looking at that bend and twist, the movement of the trunk. Let me try for another angle. Let me go in here. There's some more. I did this bending, and I thought I just wanted to make a more interesting tree than what I began with. I think the transition for this tree will be, let's just say, I'm going to go out there and say it's going to be remarkable, the transition between what I started with and what I'm about to work on. First things first, let's get rid of this wire that I've put on there to move that branch downwards. It's a rear branch, I'm guessing. This is the front. Closer look. There's so much growth on this tree at the moment. Just going to hold it back. Not going to bore you too much. I'm going to get this tool, place it upon there, and cut it. So let me just do that. I'll get back to you. Just cut the wire. And it's holding on ever so tightly, this one, and this one here. Get off. All right, pop. There we go. A little bit of, so you can see that, a little bit of wire bite, not too much. Now these are very slow growing, and see how long it's been. Get off, get off, get off. All right, you get the picture. That concludes all the wire removal from this tree. Now I'm looking at the next step of what I'm going to do. Looking at the tree, safe to say I've got to do some pruning, some branch reduction selection. And what I'm looking at, semi-cascade tree. So coming up, I need to work on the apex, definitely need to do that. But I've definitely got these pads developing. So I've got one here. It'll become more apparent when I trim these up. Another one there, another one there, another one there, and at the top. Like I said, the apex needs to be worked on, which I need to look at. I also need to look at whether this branch is required. It's just a big mess at the moment. So I think what I'll do is I'll go through and trim the branches and the long growth, and that'll bring it back into some kind of shape. All right, keep watching. Just looking at the growth on the cedar. At the junction here where the two got these buds that are really, really close to that fork. So I'll get rid of them first of all, go through and clean all them up. And then I need to come back to these longer lengths of growth here. And as you can see, let me get a better picture. Buds, buds, buds. Fairly consistent, and they are opposing as well. I don't really want them to be opposing unless I want... they can be opposing, but then I'd have to cut them there. That will make two branches. So I need to either make a decision on keeping one of them or cutting back to there to create two branches forking out that way. Now it's just a matter of working out how far I want to cut this back, and when I do, obviously these new buds will grow out. Now they're way too long at the moment, they need to be cut back, so I'm going to go through and initially shorten them to see what that looks like, and then I might take them back further. Monkey. Let's do a bit of freestyle from the top. so you can see what I'm on about. Alright, a little bit of zoom freehand. Just looking at the branches coming out. So it splits and forks into there, and there. So I want to cut it back to approximately there, and I might go that one there. There we go. And then those buds will develop back out. I might go that one there, and that's reducing it back, and there. So let's have a look at that now. You can see that. If I go out a bit, it's reduced it back, and all these buds in the center will continue to grow. So that's what it used to be, and then I cut it back like that, and we'll see how that develops. Little update. Can't really tell at the moment what's happening because there's still so much more to trim back, but this is what I've trimmed back so far. I have to put a bit of wire on here in a few different branches. That's brought it back to there, and now I'm working through the tree, just removing those longer bits. That's what I have removed so far, trimming back all those long lengths. Now in my mind I've been considering what to do with this branch here. I've been just tossing up whether to remove it altogether or bend it a little bit more. And I think what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to trim it back. Trim it back considerably to thicken up. Sorry, not to thicken up, to get those buds coming back and growing. Because these branches are really long, so just giving it a really rough cut back, and then I think I'll do that, see how it bounces back, and then decide further. Sorry, make a decision. There we go. Make a decision on what I'm going to do with it. Quick look at what I have done so far. So you can see now the shape the tree is going to be. I'm going to bring that one down into that position here, and this one into that position in that space with wire. So I'll do that. The back branch, I've now cleaned it up where I want it to be at this point in time. Not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I'll give you a look so you can see it under the tree there. I think it does add some depth to the tree. If I removed it, see, you can see probably a little bit there, but once it's there in position, in the right position, I think it does add that depth. So tell me what you think. Keep that one. I think yes, unless you can come up with some other good idea. Just want to remind people I am learning these processes, learning what to do with different trees. This is not something I would normally work on too much, hence I'm taking my time and trying to make the best decision moving forward. Looking at the branch, looking at the wire I need, just want to make sure that the wire I have is suitable. And I'm just testing that. Just a really quick test to see if it's going to hold the stiffness of the wire or the thickness. It also depends on how old the wire is too. If it's being reused, generally they're a bit stronger. So I think that is suitable for putting together the wire on this branch, and I'll wire that branch in it as well. Well, that wasn't easy. All these fine little needles that get in the way of wiring. I tried to clean out most of them. It's probably people are going to say that's crap, but trying to keep the wire at 45 degrees. I've crushed a few needles there. Generally I tried to, as I went, to pull the needles, pull the little branches apart, the buds, to try and get that wire in there without crushing too many. Obviously it's just too hard unless I cleaned everything off, which ain't going to do. Anyway, that's one side done, ready to go to the next side. This side I went through and cleaned up first. Probably should have done that on the other one, but me being a learner, didn't. So I just cleaned all the needles out on the underside. That way I can do this branch successfully. Trying to keep that angle right, and then working my wire around. Oops, let me just double check. All is good. So just working that wire around the branch coming down. You can get a roll on. Becomes almost rhythmic. All right, how'd I go? Won't be able to tell yet. Let's clean up that end, and then these are now ready to move into position, hopefully. here we are. I'm not going to think about it too much. I know this one's going to come down in that spot there. I think that wire's going to hold nicely. Let's move this one. Adding that movement. I'll readjust it when I look from the front. And then this one, the same. And then come down, bending it. Now I need to go roughly left, up, down, left and right. That's what I think in my head. I need to apply more pressure. Going down there, just a little bit more, and move that into position. All right, I probably muffed it. Let's have a look. Always hard to tell. So that was the branch that I was wiring. So it does need to come down into that space and then probably back up again. That's better, but I'll readjust it after that. And the other one also I'll readjust and have another look. Semi-placed into position. Yeah, I'm not 100% happy. And that one has to come down. It's a very sturdy, heavy branch, that one. The summary of today's work. Massive difference. All coming together on its way to becoming a much better tree. Add a little bit of wire here and there just to move it in the right direction that I want it to go. But overall, I think the change has been somewhat dramatic. We'll refine it further in the future, but at the moment, it's just going to let it be and sit for another good while. So what I did, I'm back. Hang on. I went inside, downloaded the photos and videos, and I wasn't happy with the shape. I wasn't happy with the dead space in around here, and I'll put up the photo and I'll put an arrow where I wasn't happy with. So I've come straight back outside and reconfigured the back branch, which I'm glad I've kept now. So I've pushed that, added the wire, and I've moved it into that position there. I'll go back so you can see a better. Oh man. So you can get a better look at it. Yeah, there was just a big old space there. So I've added that branch. Well, I didn't add it. I just moved that. Let me start again. So I added the wire here, which enabled me to move this branch into that position, and that fills that void. Now I'm going to let that grow out. I will secure it just here, and just so it holds its position. And I think overall, that's much better. Here we go. Quick little view now of this tree. Going right back out. And you can see now that that space in there is now filled. I will just lift that up just a fraction so it forms in line with this part here. Welcome back. It's been about that long. Can't remember off the top of my head. Hasn't been too long, but I just wanted to show you the new growth for this tree. All these nice, healthy new buds, clusters of needles, I guess you would call them. Well, I don't know exactly what they're called. I guess they're leaves. They're very fine leaves. But if you have a look at that, it's looking really, really good and budding back nicely. And look at this side, that new branch is the same, but ideally that's my front. See if I can get it for you. Somewhere around there. So it's looking really good. What do you think of that one? We're coming along nicely. Welcome back. It's been about that long since I did an update on the cedar, the Cedrus Atlantic cedar. As you can see, it's bounced back nicely. Look at it, very green. I love the color of this when it pops. Back to the viewing angle, kind of there. Roughly, let's have a zoom. There's the top of the pot. It's very slow growing. You see the wires are still in place. I'm going to leave them on there because they do take a while to go into position. Just spinning around and having a look at the back side. And there's a little gap here, but this will fill that in nicely. Even this branch here could be moved slightly, but I think I'm going to continue with this one to fill in that space there. You can see it better there. On the other side, it's not as visible because you've got all the foliage at the front. Some twists and turns on this one. But yeah, overall, looking really good. Again, think about what type of pot I'm going to put this in. There's a view from this angle. Get yourself in there and then back towards probably the front. Yeah, now you can see that you can't see that gap through there as much. Probably can there. So I'm going to grow that branch here, that one, and I'll grow that into that position. So then that'll fill it in. But from the frontish, which is somewhere around there, I don't have it marked, but I know just by looking at it.